Exercise is medicine, and like any medicine, the dose matters. Some train too hard, too often, and burn out. Others stay comfortable and never improve. Intensity isn't random, it is a tool. If you understand how to use it correctly, you can improve your VO2 max performance, protect your long-term health, and actually enjoy the process. In this video, I will show you the smart way to structure your cardio. This will help you stay consistent, avoid injuries, and get the most benefit. Cardio, aerobics, cardiorespiratory exercise, they all mean the same thing. If you don't exercise at all, or you only focus on weights and functional balance training, you're missing out. Here's why cardio matters. Number 1, combining cardio with strength training gives you more health benefits than either one alone. Number 2, cardio is the best way to improve your cardiorespiratory fitness. One of the measures of cardiorespiratory fitness is VO2 max. Think of it as your engine's horsepower. It is a marker of overall fitness and a strong predictor of longevity. It also strongly predicts your quality of life and long-term health. This is why cardio is not optional. You need cardio to improve your quality of life decades from now. VO2 max steeply declines with age at an average of 10% per decade after age 30 and at an average of 15% per decade after age 50. To put it in perspective, my base pace for running is 6 miles per hour, which puts my VO2 max at 50. Estimated, not measured. I love running, and it's important to me that I can run decades from now. At the rate of natural decline, my VO2 max could be around 33 when I'm 70. At that level, at VO2 max 33, I expect to comfortably do brisk walking, steady cycling, and play sports like double tennis. However, longer or faster jogging would feel more challenging. I want to do better than that, which is why I train to improve my performance. So, what do the guidelines recommend for cardio? For overall health, aim for 150 to 300 minutes moderate intensity per week, or 75 to 150 minutes of vigorous intensity per week. Why does intensity matter? It matters because you don't want to undertrain or overtrain. Too much high-intensity work leads to accumulated fatigue, poor recovery, and higher injury risk. And staying only at very low intensity limits VO2 max gains once you've adapted to exercise. So, how do you determine intensity? The current preferred method involves laboratory tests of metabolic response and maximum work rate at VO2 max. That's a lot, I know. This is not feasible for most people. Instead, we use a combination of practical tests to figure out how much effort an activity takes. You ready? Number 1, modified rate of perceived exertion, RPE. It is your interpretation of how hard your exercise feels. It ranges from 0 to 10. 0 is no exertion, resting on the couch. 10 is an all-out maximum effort, like sprinting away from a lion. 1 to 3 is light. 4 to 7 is moderate to hard. And 8 to 9 is very hard. Number 2, talk test. Moderate intensity means you can talk but not sing. You're breathing hard but can still hold a conversation. While vigorous intensity means you can only say a few words before stopping to catch your breath. You can only speak in short sentences. And the last one, heart rate zones. You're probably familiar with these from your fitness trackers, but here's what they actually mean in real life. Zone 1, 50 to 60% of maximum heart rate. Very light, easy conversation. RPE of 1 to 2. Zone 2, you can finish full sentences, but singing is tough. Your heart rate is 60 to 70%. This is where you build your aerobic base. Your RPE is at 3 to 4. You can sustain activity at this zone for long periods. Zone 3, you prefer short sentences, heart rate 70 to 80%, while zones 4 and 5 are high intensity intervals. This is very hard work. Your heart rate is above 80%. How do you know your maximum heart rate? You can estimate using the formula 220 minus age, or a better way is to check your highest heart rate during maximum efforts in the last 3 to 6 months using your fitness tracker. My measured heart rate is 188, while my estimated from the formula is 180. You see the difference? Another issue with heart rate zones is that they are not accurate. Coffee, lack of sleep, high heat can all elevate your heart rate at baseline, creating a false sense of hard work. For me, a light jog at 4.5 miles per hour and 1% incline on a treadmill once put my heart rate zone at 75% after 5 minutes, which is zone 3. But it felt more like RPE 3, which is zone 2. That is why I use heart rate as a guide, by anchor intensity to RPE and talk test. You should do that too. For overall health, focus on knowing when you are in zone 2. It's easier to know when you're in the other zones. Zone 2 is tough to know because you can easily slip into zone 3. Why should you care about zone 2 if cardio is a house? Zone 2 is the foundation and walls. It is your aerobic base, a strong foundation that keeps you in the game for the long run and protects you from injury and burnout. Zone 2 holds the roof of the house, which is the higher zones. There are tons of research and online content on prioritizing zone 2 training about its benefit on mitochondrial health. Mitochondria is the powerhouse of our cells. Why zone 2 is no doubt useful for sports performance. A current review paper does not support zone 2 as the optimal intensity for improving mitochondrial function. Also, the 150 to 200 minutes per week of zone 2 training is not practical for most people who are non-athletes and barely have time to exercise. What about the other zones? Zones 2 to 5 all increase VO₂ max. However, zone 5 is the best and most time-efficient way to raise your VO₂ max. It's that simple. So, if you're not pushing that hard into zone 4 and 5, it's time to start. You're probably wondering, how do you apply these zones in your workouts? Let's break it down into 3 categories. Number 1, beginner level. As a beginner, you want to build the foundation first. Spend all your available cardio time in zone 2 for 2 to 3 months for proper conditioning. It doesn't matter whether all you have is 15 minutes or 30 minutes or 2 to 3 days per week. Focus on the feel. At zone 2, you can hold a full conversation, but singing is tough. RPE is 2 to 3. It may feel too easy, but resist the urge to increase intensity. You may have to brisk walk to stay in zone 2. Don't be in a hurry. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but it's the most efficient and the safest way to be fast later and stay longer in the game. Second category, intermediate and advanced level. After 2 to 3 months of adaptation, it's time to safely add zones 3 to 5. So how do you divide your cardio time between zone 2 and higher zones? A general rule is to spend more time in zone 2 than higher zones combined. You can do 90-10 or 80-20. If you're training for a race, you may choose 70-30 or 60-40, depending on your goal. This strategy minimizes injury risk and burnout. I made a mistake here in the past, where I was spending over 50% in zones 3 to 5 for months. Fast is fun until it is not. I peaked at maximum all-out speed of 13 miles per hour for 20 seconds. A few weeks after, I got burnt out with persistent fatigue, chronic muscle aches, and with no motivation to run. I could barely run at maximum all-out speed of 9 miles per hour. It took me 4 months to fix the problem, and now I'm back at maximum speed of 11.5 miles per hour. I don't want you to burn out, which is why paying attention to intensity matters. And the last category, intermediate and advanced level with minimal time. If you only have 15 to 20 minutes, 2 to 3 times a week for cardio, what should you do after you've gone through the adaptation phase? You should spend the little time you have optimizing your VO2 max and performance. That will look like 5 minutes warm-up, 10 minutes zone 4 and 5 interval training, and 5 minutes cool down. An easier way to accumulate zone 2 is to brisk walk, where you walk around at home, at work, or when doing any activity that doesn't require you to be stationary. And if you don't have time to exercise, stay tuned for the next video. How should you structure your cardio? Here's what works for me. The 2-bucket system. Group A and Group B. They can overlap or be separate. Group A is recreational cardio. This is the cardio you genuinely enjoy. It keeps you consistent, connects you with friends, family, and the community. The key is finding activities you look forward to, not activities you dread. You get all the zones benefit in this category. I do this once per week, and I easily accumulate 2 hours of cardio time. If all you do is Group A, you're doing great. Limit it to about twice per week for adequate recovery, and leave room for strength training and functional balance exercise. For me, Group A includes tennis, pickleball, and soccer. For you, it might be dancing, swimming, cycling, or basketball. Anything that gets you moving and makes you happy. Group B, targeted performance cardio. This is planned, measured, and designed to drive performance and progress. This is where you push yourself, build your VO2 max, and track your progress. This is fun. You're competing against your past self, and you're in control of your improvement. For me, Group B includes running and skiing. You see, at some point when showing up is no longer a problem and you've adapted well to cardio, this is what you should be considering. It makes it fun and goal-oriented, something to look forward to and keep you showing up. So, which of these activities is the best cardio? I've heard people say, I can't run unless something is chasing me. That's okay. The best cardio is the one you can stick with and enjoy for the long run. Experiment with different activities. Try all the options around you and see what fits your lifestyle. Let me know your favorite cardio activity in the comments. For Group B, I do 2 60 minutes zone 2 runs and 1 VO2 max performance session each week. More than twice VO2 max or high intensity training per week is not recommended, and I don't think it's sustainable for the long run. It is crucial to be fully recovered before this session, so avoid heavy leg training 2 to 3 days before. This is hard, so you want to be fully rested. If you have any medical condition or symptoms or new to exercise, talk to your clinician before this kind of training. I follow the protocols similar to what is described in the American College of Sport Medicine guideline. I use 2 options. You can adopt whichever fits your style. Number 1, high intensity interval training, also called the Norwegian 4x4 workout. You warm up for 10 minutes. Choose a pace you can hold for 4 minutes. This is hard but controlled. RPE 8 to 9. Push to 90 to 95% of maximum heart rate. You are at zone 5. It's easier to do with running, swimming, rowing, and cycling. Recover for 3 minutes in zone 1 to zone 2. Then repeat for a total of 4 rounds. Recovery is a goal during the easy portion. Let your breathing settle and your heart rate come down. It is highly effective for improving VO2 max and it carries a lower injury risk. That is why I recommend it. It takes about 40 minutes to complete. Number 2, sprint interval training. 20 seconds all out, followed by 2 to 4 minutes full recovery. Repeat 3 times. It's my favorite. I love speed. I do this to specifically improve my sprint performance. This is where I first noticed the impact of prioritizing zone 2 training. 1 month after I started, my recovery time between sprints and HIIT intervals dropped by 50%. Now, if protocols are not your thing, the other ways to make it fun and still boost performance is to track metrics and cardio performance you care about. I do this as part of the 2 protocols I just mentioned. Depending on the week, I track simple and measurable metrics. 1 mile run time with a personal record of 7 minutes 20 seconds. I hope it gets better. Peak 20-second speed, peak 60-second speed, time at push pace of 7.5 miles per hour, and 30 seconds all out on skiing distance. For many people, exercise isn't fun. That is why they stop. This is why I show up. I make it fun. I compete against the version of myself from last month, not anyone else. And that's what makes it sustainable. For you, a beginner, new to cardio, start with achievable benchmarks and celebrate small wins. If you're walking, for instance, at 3.5 miles per hour, what is the highest incline you can hold for 30 seconds? If you're swimming, how fast can you swim 1 or 2 laps at maximum effort? If you're on a stationary bicycle, at a resistance of 10, how much distance can you cover in 30 seconds? Or how long can you hold an uncomfortable resistance of 12? Get creative and choose metrics that resonate with you. The goal is to have something to look forward to and a way to measure improvement. Which Group B metric are you going to track this week? Let me know in the comment section. Start small and build gradually. Progress is progress, no matter how small. Some days are tough, and that's okay. Maybe you're tired, distracted, or just not feeling it. On those days, I skip performance work entirely and enjoy an easy zone 2 cardio. That is perfectly fine. Flexibility and self-compassion are part of long-term success. If you're constantly exhausted, sore, or losing motivation, you're probably overdoing it or not recovering enough. Reduce your intensity. Have more rest days and prioritize sleep. Recovery is just as important as the work you put in. Copy the plug and play template in the description and adapt it to current fitness level and schedule. If you're ready to take your cardio to the next level, click the next video to learn how to keep your progress injury-free.